Happy hoops, everybody. Welcome to Hagen Arena for our annual season preview with the head hawk, Billy Lange. How you doing, my friend?
Joe, great to see you. What a
Joe
great
Lunardi
time.
here, and I love these preseason interviews for a lot of reasons, one of which is the coaches are still calm because they're undefeated. But apparently half the team lost over the weekend. What's up with that?
Crimson and gray scrimmage. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose. So you're going to leave 50% happy and 50% upset.
All right. You've been at it a month. What do coaches learn in the kind of preseason period that fans wouldn't necessarily think about, good or bad?
Well, I think that there's two periods of quote unquote the preseason as it's laid out now in the NCAA calendar. You have return of school to 30-42, which is the start of official practice. It's no longer October 15th. You're allowed to begin 42 days prior to your first game date, and you can only practice in 30 to 42. So then you have the 30 and 42. So we tried to morph it a little bit. We've scrimmaged more starting early in September than we have probably in a year that we've been here. And so what we're trying to figure out during this time is, especially with a team that's so young and so new, how do the pieces fit? You know, what are some of the things that we thought we were going to do that, I don't know if this is the right direction, and vice versa. What are some of the things that we didn't think we could do, and they're showing us you can? And the reality is you're doing against yourself all the time. So it's not always a fair indicator of how things are going to shake out. And I think what we've learned in this group, what we try to learn, what I would say to the fans, is we're trying to figure out how competitive the group is, and this group is very competitive.
Well, you've had competitive groups, and you've had competitive groups who've kind of kept their mojo positive, if you will, even when the results haven't always followed. And I don't know, my sense is that points back to you in a good way.
I mean, maybe. We have good people. You know, I've got a great staff. We're filled of people that have great optimism, great hope. It's a faithful group to begin with. We've got a faithful community here at St. Joe's. So a lot of that, I think, is just ingrained in you once you get here. You know, I have not shied away from where we started and where we want to be. And so I have had to massage that message to these guys. Like, yeah, we want to be competitive and win right now, but there's also value in being competitive as we grow and we create. And when I say this group is competitive, it's like you can just put them on the court and they're going to be competitive. I don't need to use words like Houston or Villanova or St. Peter's or Lafayette or Widener. I don't have to do that. There's an inherent competitiveness that comes with the group. A lot of that is driven by guys like Cam Brown, who have been here for 4 years, who have adopted the spirit of the Hawk will never die. And that really is a great St. Joe's team. The best teams here embrace the mission of the school. They embrace what this Hawk means standing behind us. They embrace these words, and then it just becomes a fabric of your team. So when you have some carryover like Cam, you know, like Anton, another year with Edge, Eric Reynolds, and the amount of time that he got last year, I think that lends to its competitiveness. That's been the thing that we've taken from this team. And we're very fast. This is the fastest group that we've had.
I want to mention one guy in particular and get your thoughts, because I'm not sure the fan base fully recognizes what a player development story and what a personal development story Ejike Obinna was last year. I mean, St. Joe's historically doesn't get a lot of double-double true five men. And I just thought for what he was, you know, Ryan Daly's a great player.
Yes, he is.
Taylor Funk's a great player.
Yes, they are.
Jordan Hall is making money playing basketball.
Yes,
and this is all great.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Ejike Obinna is a college player who made himself into something better than he was. And I just wanted to give you a shout out, Edge. Plus, he's a good guy.
I believe that he deserves that shout out. I mean, particularly when you think about that he had.
And he wanted to be here.
And he wanted to be here. And, you know, you think about, and he could be gone, right? He could be in the real world making money, or he could be playing professionally, but he's literally in his 6th year of college and an amazing student, like amazing student. And so, you know, when Edge came here, he came with 4 years of practice and game experience from Vanderbilt. He could have looked at himself like, this is who I am, and you just figure out a way to use me. But, you know, he's constantly out of basket working on his touch. He wants to learn. He watches film. He wants to be coached. And we got a staff of people that love to coach. And so if you have a guy that wants to be coached with a group of people that want to coach you have a chance to get a lot better. He's worked tirelessly on his free throws since since the season's ended. I don't expect him to be Steph Curry, all right? But I know. And it's not because I have low expectations, it's just reality. And so, but if he can increase a little bit, that could be the difference in 1 to 2 to 3 other victories.
Absolutely.
And it just gives him much more confidence. He's going to score the way he scores. He's going to catch it on lobs. He's going to catch it on dump offs. He's going to bury guys inside the basket. He's not this guy that's going to pick you apart on the right block or left block. So when you look at his double digits, you're like, man, he really earned this with great touch and great force. And we have great respect for Edge in this program, both in the coaching staff and in the locker room.
All right, let's look at the perimeter. Last year, pretty ball dominant with Jordan Hall.
Yeah, very ball dominant, but we needed to be. Yeah.
Eric Reynolds, terrific all-rookie player in the Atlantic 10, but a sophomore. Lynn Greer, transferring back to Philadelphia, essentially a freshman.
That's right.
Christian Winborn, a true freshman, great pedigree, great school, great background. Cam Brown, I guess the only old head. Quinn Berger, a freshman, who I think might surprise a bit.
Definitely.
Upside, downside of the backcourt.
Well, I love that you call Cam Brown an old head. That's good. It's awesome. I love it. I'm with you. Relative to this team, he's like a grandfather. I totally agree. The downside is that they're young. That's the downside, right? Like, meaning if you look at the current reality, you just named essentially 3 freshmen because Lynn played 10 games at Dayton, right? And so I see him the same way I see Casper. Eric is a sophomore, but will now be projected into a different role. And the role will be because of the way the outside world is going to view him. In here, we've had great confidence of him since day one, but now it's featured on a scouting report, picked to be an all-league type of level player. And so that's totally different. And I'm excited to go through that with him. And he's got such a humble, compassionate personality that he's got to be okay, taking shots, missing them, and not feel like he's letting people down. But we love who he is. The upside is that these guys get to grow together. Quinn Berger and his toughness and the level of coaching he had at Westtown. Christian Winborn, and I say this with all due respect, has never met a shot that he didn't believe he can make or go in. And so there's going to be times you're like, man, is that a good one? But I know when we're sitting on the bench and the other team's got guys that are taking those shots, I think of Fats Russell from Rhode Island, like he could break your back in the last 4 minutes of the game and then keep you in for the other 36, but you remember the other 4. I think he has that type of mojo. So the upside is as these guys grow together, as Lynn learns how to conduct an offense at the pace we want to play at, as all 3 of them figure out a way to help each other when they're on the court, and Cam will bring us that steady influence as he has for 3 years.
Good luck, my friend.
You're the man, Joe. Thanks for having me, brother.
He's Billy Lange. I'm Joe Lunardi. Come to the game, October 29th at 1. We'll catch it here on ESPN+. But better to come to the game than to have to listen to us. Let's go Hawks.
Go Hawks.